Hey, what's up guys, Arisu here. Today I bring you my thought process behind the entirety of P5. Again, as a disclaimer, this is using week 1 strat, so it may be different to what you're used to, and this is not a complete guide, but more so the things that I look out for in the mechanics. Hopefully it can be of some help. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video, dislike it, let's not waste time, and vámonos. Okay, so right before we start, I just want to make a small mention, I guess. I had a lot of re-recordings about this because to me P5 doesn't require such my input. If someone else can cover it better than I do, if anything I can show you like what I do, but that's about it. Because like in my opinion these mechanics are simple, but at the same time they're simple to fuck up. I always say this, like if they look simple it's because you can fuck it as simple too. Anyway, so I'm gonna just give like small comments here and there because mostly this entire phase is a choke check. So as long as you're prepared and you know what to do, you should know where exactly to go. So we're gonna start with Fulgent Blade, and the very first thing that you want to do is find the empty spot inside a house. If you want to think like you're gonna see a lot of intersections, right? But there's going to be of course one side and that doesn't intersect at all over here. In my case I look for it just so I know that on the other side it's where the intersections are happening, but mostly the general idea that you have is just like make sure you're inside like the big open space. And as soon as you're doing that, it's always going to be like left or right, either the first intersection on the left or the first intersection on the right. If it's left, it's always clockwise, you're rotating your camera that way. And if it's right, it's always counterclockwise, you're rotating your camera that other way. So the way that I do it is solving it one by one. Basically what Team Lucrezia was doing, which is basically find the first exa, step away from it a little bit, and literally just wait, go in. Wait, go in. Wait, go in. And that's it. That's basically all of exit lines. There's basically, in my opinion, nothing more to it. If you solve the exit lines as they come one by one, instead of like, I know there are other ways to do it. Like other people like go for the first exa, like as soon as the first exa appears, they go to the first one and they just follow it, right? But in my opinion, I think this one might be the simplest for me because I'm just waiting for the exit to come. I just go into it, I wait for it, I go, I wait for it, I go. I don't have to think about like a certain I don't know, like a triangle or something like that I've heard. But in my opinion, like that's adding like an extra step to the mechanic that doesn't require to be adding an extra step. But I mean, that's excellent. Once you're done, it's Act 1. Just be careful that you're on the right half of the boss. One light part is gonna go one way, the other one to the other one. So once we get past that is Paradise Regain. The way that we do it right here, it's the one with the light right, dark left. First tower that spawns, it's the healer tower, and this is where everything is going to be located. The towers spawn just like DSR. That means one south, one northwest, one northeast. Since I'm melee 2, I'm going northeast because light party 2. I'm going with my respective range in my light party. So right here, we're gonna look at the color. If it's light, party goes in. If it's dark, party goes out. And then of course the opposite is gonna happen. If it's light first right here, then it's gonna click dark. And this is the tank mechanic that I was mentioning. This is mostly what tanks need to do. So I'm gonna try my best to like draw whatever is happening right here. So the towers always spawn a little bit delayed, but they always spawn in this composition, right? If it's light right, the main tank goes to the right tower and stands right there. The off tank can stand on the right side already, like pre-positioned, because they need to they need to line up with the other tower on the left side, and they just need to be out because the tank buster of light targets the one that is furthest from the boss. So that's the first step. Everyone else, the DPS, are gonna have to like be inside the hitbox. One clip happens. This is where like most tanks poke. I'm pretty sure someone mentioned that you can poke a little bit earlier, but I haven't tanked this fight up until P5. I haven't done it until P4. So up until now, like I really don't have like that information. But for now, if it was party in, now the party wants to get outside the hitbox because the next one is dark, and dark target is the one that is the closest, so that's the tank that has to go in. That's the main tank. The main tank stands inside the tower right here just to like be, precise that they're gonna get the cleave. Once the cleave goes, they go in, they take it. The off tank that was over here, they went out, right? They went out, right? Now they have to like just make sure they're lining it up, because that lineup is gonna cross like half the tower right there. On the other side, that tower is gonna get cleaved through the middle. It can also happen on the other type of cleave, but as a DPS, you just want to make sure that you cross this line. Like you're gonna see the circle, right? You want to aim for the upper half. It's always the upper half. You never want to be on this lower half. If you're in this lower half, you're almost guaranteed to die. And once you get into your tower, you just make sure that you don't move. As a DPS, you don't move. You just make sure you just wait in there, because the towers they can solve in different order, either, you know, south, northwest, northeast, or south, northeast, northwest. And basically it gets auto resolve if you just don't move from your tower. It basically resolves like right here. Now this is one of the gotcha moments. What I say this early, because the first iteration, there's 2 auto attacks and then Polarizing Strikes happen. Polarizing Strikes, the second Polarizing Strikes happens immediately after those towers that we just saw. But outside of that, this is basically live parties into first person getting first person in the wild charge is going to get a debuff, and they just switch sides. Just so you're gonna get hit, right? You want to move away from it. You do not wish to stay on the line, because if you stay on the line, you're gonna get hit, because this is another AoE. You're gonna move. In our case, we had THMR, but I mean, things have changed. They made it on TMRH, so that's another thing to note. But it still follows the same premise of the first person is gonna get a debuff and they just move away. It just depends like when you're going to go. Anyway, you get hit. In this case, I just got hit right now, so as soon as I get the debuff, I get away from it and I go to the other party. And that's basically it. That's Polarizing Strikes. After this is just Pandora box, which is a big AoE, which is just Tankle V, or you Tankle V2 with a lot of fucking mid and all those stuff and yada yada yada. You can live with it, right? But outside of that, dude, like the fight is done. Like if you manage to do one loop as a DPS, you're done. As a tank, you may need to see like light and dark the Khalees from the Paradise Regain towers to like actually get it to actually lock in. But outside of that, I'm like, it's done. As a melee, as a caster, but outside of that, like the fight is done. Pandora's box happened. We go ahead, Fulgent Blade. We solve the Fulgent Blade. We solve the Akmorn. We solve Paradise Regain. Light party in, right? Cleaves happen and all this stuff. And as soon as it's done, Polarizing Strikes. That's the only gotcha moment. It's like way quicker now. Polarizing Strikes happen, yada yada yada. And as soon as that last Polarizing Strikes, it's another Exa, which is your last Exa before the 2 minute. You solve the last Exa line. And as soon as you solve the last Exa, the last Akmorn, you just DPS the boss away. There's literally nothing more than just make sure that you burst actually on time and you're not delayed. As soon as the LB3 is up, you send it and you win. This fight is really it's a fun phase, you know, but it's a simple phase. It's a simple phase. You literally just as long as you respect mechanics, you will clear it, and that's about it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.